go get water. Up here today. We're gonna get cinnamon out first. We'll do cinnamon. Kind of get in a pretty good rhythm of Tyler and I can kind of work together now for so long that he kind of knows what he has to do before I even, you know, have to ask him to do it. So a lot of times I'll trim the fronts, Tyler will trim the backs, and so while I'm making my front shoes, Tyler will trim the backs of this horse here, and then you know, a lot of times we'll just get another one out before we're done with this one. Tyler can start the next horse and just gets into a nice routine that way. Good rhythm. sizes, and then no two horses' feet are the same, or no foot on the horse is the same. So every shoe is fit to fit the foot. And I kind of used my old shoe that was on as a guide to be about where I want to be. And then when I'm close, I'll go in and we can actually fit the shoes hot because they don't have feeling in the bottom part of their foot there. So we can actually, it's called hot seating, we can burn them on. Are you good, Ty?
Yeah.
Okay. Take this in here. Come on, man. Come on. So after I fit them, you can see on the shoe where the burn marks are, so I can kind of tell where my fit is on the foot, and then I can just adjust accordingly. Open that branch up there, knock that up there. Okay. There's been a lot of advances over the years, but the basics of shoeing horses is still the same hundreds and hundreds of years. We obviously have a lot nicer stuff to use now to do it, and great tools to do it with. We have the ability for vets to x-ray, and digital x-rays can be emailed to me. So on a specialty case, there's not as much guessing as what's going on in the foot. We have exact pictures of what we have to do. Got, I mean, just here was a horse I had shod the other day. The vet takes radiographs. They email them to me. I have them on my phone. I can go through and we can adjust from there. The vet actually met me at this case here. We shod the horse, they re-x-rayed to see if all the angles and everything lined up accordingly, and then I'll go back and shoe the horse again in 5 weeks, and then the following time after that we will probably x-ray again. How you doing?
Morning.
How are you?
Good.
How are you doing?
Are you looking for Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. She might still be up at the house. I can call her if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll wait a couple minutes. I'm early. I have a lesson at 8:30.
Oh, you have a lesson. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure she'll be down.
Okay.
take you through a pad on this one, the wedge pad. This is an older horse, kind of been around a long time, and to help her, we kind of like give her a little wedge. So that's what Tyler's putting a pair of wedge pads on right now. Yeah, let's put in the water.
How often do you change a horseshoe?
5 to 6 weeks.
Oh,
Really?
Yep.
I didn't realize it was that often.
Yeah, depending what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my show horses that I shoe, we keep them right about 5 weeks because they don't want them to get any bit out of balance. And then in the wintertime, we can go a little longer. They don't grow as much. Let's see. So underneath the pad, I'll pack with some of this. This is like a leather packing, and then just some oakum that keeps any dirt and mud and stuff from coming under the pad. I mean, stuff will still get under there, but not nearly as much.
So I'm making a little cut underneath the nail, so when you use the clinchers, it'll fold the nail down into that little space. And then keep the nails strong and keep the shoe from coming off. And then like the spots here where the pad's sticking out, we'll just take the rasp, just bevel it down, so if the horse catches it with the inside, they'll roll off instead of catching square on that shoe and yanking that shoe off. Well, that's it.
Yeah, cool.
And then I think he's talking about all the shoes that we keep in the truck right now. And he's showing those guys, so that would be really cool.
Sounds like you stay pretty busy.
It's 7 days a week in the summertime. Yeah, we are just flat out in the summer. And you know, I live in Great Barrington. I try not to go any farther than an hour away. So I used to work for, when I was first learning, I worked with Paul and Justin Gallai from Millbrook. And so I was traveling down to Millbrook 4 or 5 days a week. And then from Millbrook, we were going south to Westchester. So there were days I was leaving my house at like 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning to get to Millbrook by, you know, 5:30. I mean, I got to work on some of the best show horses around. I mean, they were in Florida for all winter too. So I'd fly back and forth to Florida with them. They would go down in November, and they'd have a truck down there the whole season, the whole show's in Wellington. And we were back and forth. I mean, I'd be there 2 weeks, home for a week, there 2 weeks, home for a week, and then 3 years ago when my daughter was born, I stopped going down. It's just, it's just a lot.
It's too much.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, it gets addicting. I mean, you get to work on, you know, you see all the Olympic riders are down there. The horses are down there. Horses are coming in from Europe. They're coming in from all over the world. The show in Wellington, that's the biggest show in the world in the winter. You know, it does kind of get a little addicting, but it's okay. As far as everyday shoeing, we buy everything. They're called keg shoes, so they're all pre-sized. You know, zeros, ones, twos, threes, double aughts, and then all the way up through like 4s and 5s. That's a 5, and that's a 4x0. So anywhere from ponies to larger draft crosses or warm bloods that would wear the bigger shoes. I don't shoe a lot of draft horses anymore. And then the different types of shoes we have. I carry a lot of DFs, which are like a European type shoe. They're a little wider. And then we do carry SX8s, which are a little narrower. These are 22 by 8 millimeters. These are 20 by 8 millimeter. And then I go up into 10 millimeter stuff. This is so when I say 10 millimeter is the thickness of the shoe. And we use these on a lot of the bigger horses. We have some different types of, I guess you'd kind of call them therapeutic shoes. These are half rounds or classic rollers, they can be called. They just help to allow the foot to travel in any direction. There's no restriction of breakover. We predominantly use side clips on our feet. I clip almost everything. There's very rarely a foot I don't put clips on. The older school way of doing everything was toe clips, and the clip would just be at the toe. You can't get the setback that you want, and a lot of the vets want a lot of setback. They want that roller motion back. And then we get into shoeing hunters. For the hunter ring, we can use aluminum shoes. They get aluminums up front, steel behind, and what that allows for, you wouldn't think that on a 1,200 to 1,800 pound horse that this little bit of difference in weight would make a difference, but it does. It changes the actual way that they travel. With a steel shoe, a heavier shoe, you're going to have a little bit more of an upwards motion, where an aluminum shoe, they have what they call a daisy cutter, that long and low travel. So, and that's what they want in the hunter ring. So that's that. I carry way too many shoes. Like 2 or 3 different reasons you put shoes on. You put them on for traction. Right. So the next horse, I think he's drilled and tapped. So the next horse is a upper level jumper. We drill and tap the shoes in the heels so that they can thread caulks in. So if the footing's slick, or if they're going to go jump on grass or something like that, they can actually thread caulks in, and they can decide whatever size they want, big, small, medium, whatever. So traction is one reason we put shoes on. The other is to protect the foot. You know, if the foot's wearing down faster than it can grow, and the other is support. So, you know, if the foot's growing, horses' conformation is what it's all about. So, you know, these horses will have, no horse has perfect conformation. They're all a little bit off. So if they're working and they're going to be, say they're turned out or they're turned in, they're wearing off different parts of the foot.
Right, yeah, it's just like a person.
Exactly. So we can put it back on with a shoe, you know.
How long have you been doing this, Keith?
About 15 years now. I started right out of high school. I started with my stepfather, who shod. He didn't do a lot of show horses, did tons of just trail horses, backyard pleasure horses, a lot of draft horses. You know, but I got all my basics from him. He did great work. Just never, he didn't want to do or deal with the people that you have to deal with to shoe the show horses, you know. I wanted to get into the show horses a little bit more, so after working with him for a few years, I went and worked with the galleys from Millbrook who did a lot of show horses, and I got, you know, a lot of the experience shoeing show horses with them. So I've been doing it about 15 years now, and Tyler's been at it about 2 years with me. He's my first apprentice, so I'm taking it kind of slower than a lot of people would. Like, he would probably be doing more stuff than he's doing now with someone who's brought someone along already. But I'm very controlling. I want to do everything myself, but he does great work, and it's getting better and better all the time to let him do some stuff. So
I'll help seal it up. He'll get a better fit that way, because it'll be perfectly flat, and then when it seals the foot, like all the bacteria and everything, they can't get in. So all that little stuff, I mean, they're out in, you know, mud and all that stuff all the time. So
anything gets in there, any kind of bacteria.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'll seal it up and keep that stuff from getting in.
it looks cool too, right?
Yeah.
Just like we have different shoes, I have different nails for every shoe. I carry way too much stuff in my truck, but I have, you know, E-head nails for all the DF and European style shoes, which E-heads are the square heads. These are city heads. These are going to be for you can just see that they're for like SX8s and smaller. They're just a different size head to fit in the nail there, to fit in the nail hole of the shoe. So this being a bigger shoe, a heavier shoe, I'm going to put a larger E-head nail in. These are called Liberty LX70s. But that, I mean, that's one thing too about this industry that's changed so much, is the amount of inventory that is available to you. The different kinds of nails, the different kind of shoes, the different, you know, the shoes never used to come, even when they came pre-stamped, like pre-made. When Paul, the guy that I learned a lot of the shoeing from, you know, they used to draw all their own clips. And then even before pre-made shoes, they were turning all handmade shoes. So, you know, they'd spend a day at the shop just making shoes and then shoeing. And even back then in Millbrook, when Paul's father came from Italy, he had a shoeing shop set up, and they would bring the horses to him. And so that's changed quite a bit now. And part of the reason I like this job so much is even though it's the same routine, like it's doing the same thing, none of the feet are the same. I mean, every foot's different, every shape is different, every horse's personality is different.